What's up, Dunk Squad? It's Wayne Duncan, No Vision Duncan. I am back with WWE 2K25 Realistic Universe. The setup. I wanted to apologize as I did not finish the WWE 2K24 Realistic Universe mode series, and we did not finish the story. But just because I didn't finish the story does not mean that the story has ended. And I don't want to waste any more of y'all time like I did last series. So with that being said, let's get into it. The big three when it comes to the weekly shows, we have our Monday Night Raw, NXT on Tuesdays, and our Friday Night SmackDown. Those will be our main three shows that we focus on. We are able to now host PLEs not only on Sundays but also on Saturdays, and we can even have two different shows on the same day. So if you want, the King of the Ring tournament, you can have the Queen of the Ring, and then for the women, and then you can do the King of the Ring tournament for the men, which also gives us the option to do tournaments now, with Queen of the Ring and King of the Ring being the examples of that. But having two different shows on the same day, and then doing the PLE on Saturday, you could do it any other day, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday too, but having that option to do on Saturdays now, which is a great thing. Now, talking about the story, we last left off the series with Money in the Bank being the PLE that was approaching. So we probably will not start like where you see on the calendar where it's Backlash, King and Queen of the Ring, Clash of the Castle. We're probably going to start right here from the July month of the calendar and start with Money in the Bank. Now, the PLEs, going back to them, you could do like SummerSlam on one day, SummerSlam on the next day. So having, SummerSlam on Saturday and SummerSlam on Sunday. We're also going to see the return of the Crown Jewel PLE that we added to the calendar. We put on their last series, but we didn't get the chance to actually do the Crown Jewel PLE. So we will do that again this series. And then you have the biggest event of them all, WrestleMania. You can now do over two nights, have your WrestleMania night 1 and have your WrestleMania night 2. Even NXT Stand and Deliver, which is NXT, their own little version of their own WrestleMania, you can do that on the same day as the WrestleMania night 1. Get to replicate, that big exciting WrestleMania weekend. Now, speaking of having two shows on the same day, we have added two new shows to the calendar, with the first being WWE Speed and the second being WWE Evolve. These two shows will take place of some of the minor shows that we've had in the past, like 205 Live, WWE Live events, WWE Main Event, Saturday Night's Main Event, NXT Level Up. They will take the place of some of those minor shows. Now, with Evolve and Speed being new shows, we'll most likely limit them to just one match. Speed being on X, aka Twitter, and Evolve being on, you can watch and tune in on Tubi, which is free to download. Now, with the main shows, Raw now being on Netflix, we'll do the usual 3 matches. SmackDown on the USA Network, which is now 3 hours long, 3 matches just like Raw, and then keeping NXT on the CW to just 2 matches. Now, every year we get new superstars added to the game, to keep the game fresh. But the 2 superstars I'm looking forward to the most this year is J-Bay, coming in at a 73 overall, making her debut to the Realistic Universe series, and Prince Duncan coming in at a 77 overall, making his debut to the series. Now, both of these two, no stranger when it comes to the WWE 2K games. They've been in other modes, but they have never stepped foot in the realistic universe series. So I'm excited to see what um, these two can do. You might see them as a new superstar on Evolve. You might see them on NXT. They might appear on NXT, or they might even get called up. Hell, they might even get called up to the main roster, whether that be Raw or SmackDown. But these are two of the top young rising stars in all of WWE, and both of these characters will be available to download from the CC, from the Community Creations, day one ish, day one of the release of WWE 2K25. That is J Bay and Prince Duncan. Some of the tag teams and factions like the Wyatt Six and a group that we've formed in the past, the United Kingdom with Drew McIntyre, Wade Barrett, and Sheamus. You will see some of the same teams, some of the same groups from the story carry on over to WWE 2K25. Now, all of the champions, if you held a title or had a belt when the 2K24 series ended, you get to keep the titles. Now, honorable mention, our first ever inaugural NXT Women's North American Champion. Shout out, salute to her. She is a warrior. Xia Li, who was released right before the release of W2K25, which means we have to vacate the NXT Women's North American Championship. Now, a title that was introduced last series, the All Directions Championship, that will be making its return. It is the combination of the up, up, down, down, and left, right titles that were fused together at the end of WrestleMania, at the end of W2K23's Realistic Universe mode, combining those two belts. Any superstar, any wrestler from any company, any show, any brand can compete for this title belt. We have the final boss, ain't my boss, but the final boss, The Rock, with his People's Championship. We have our mid-card women's title, the WWE Women's European Championship, making its return. We have the WWE Speed Championship. We have the Fiend belt, which took the place of the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, or the WWE Championship, WWE title held by Cody Rhodes last series. But I think it is time to let the Fiend belt rest. And then, my boy Paul Levesque, Triple H, introduced two new women's mid-card titles for that great WWE women's roster in their division. You got the Women's Intercontinental Championship and the Women's United States Championship, and we also have the WWE Speed Women's Championship. So along with the Speed Women's Championship and the Women's IC title and the Women's US title, just giving more opportunities, more titles for the women to be able to win. Now, with the All Directions Championship and the European Championship, both of those titles will be available to download from the CC, from the Community Creations, just like the characters J Bay and Prince Duncan, day one on the release of W2K25. Just type them in on the Community Creations. Now, the Women's European Championship, if you don't want to waste no time, it's basically the classic European title, just with a white strap. So if you just want to throw that white on there, boom, you got your Women's European title. But it is also available to download from the CC. Same thing with the Speed Championship and the Speed Championship for the women's. Now, I didn't create those titles, but they will both be able to be downloaded from the Community Creations. Just type in WWE Speed or Speed, not iShow Speed, and you should be able to download both of those titles and any other titles that get brought in during the year while we are doing the series. We will add, to the title collection. I think Evolve, which is one of our new shows, Speed will have the speed championships on that show. But if Evolve gets any new titles during the series, then we will add some titles to that show. But we are officially on the road. Well, we've been on the road, just switching lanes here from W2K24 to W2K25, switching lanes here to the Realistic Universe series here in 2K25 as we look to drive to the finish line. But that'll wrap it up for WWE 2K25 Realistic Universe, the setup. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below. I'm out of here. I'm gone. Peace out. Dunk Squad.